Hi, it's Patricia here. I wasn't just waiting for us to go live to tell us that we were live here. We are. So exciting. I have some cool news for everybody that we are going to be doing some fun things for the next couple of weeks. So first of all, if you are new here, my name is Patricia Lohan. I'm super excited to have you here. I am going to be doing some very exciting things for the season of Mercury retrograde. So here, if you are a member of the Powerhouse pop-up group, amazing, you're in the right place. If you're not a member of the Powerhouse pop-up group, it is time for you to join it. I'll pop the link below for you to be able to join the pop-up party. So this pop-up group is a space where I will be hosting a series of meditations, and they are going to be meditations, also some action steps, but it's going to be how to Feng Shui your Mercury retrograde. Yes, I'm so excited because oftentimes Mercury retrograde is one of those times of the year, we have 3 a year, where the planet of Mercury goes retrograde. It starts to go backwards. And then we start feeling like we are going a bit backwards in terms of communication and different things. But the really, really juicy part is that we can use this Mercury retrograde period to optimize and to make the most of this reflection time. And that's why we're going to be doing a series of Mercury retrograde, Feng Shui your Mercury retrograde. Now, I will be announcing all of the details, but the main thing is to remember that if you are not part of the pop-up group, you won't be able to get access to them. I'm super excited. So please do join, get the link below to be part of the pop-up group for that. Now, the next thing is, this is part of my live Q&A session. So for Feng Shui, this is an opportunity for people to send me questions about Feng Shui, and I will answer your questions and give you just an insight about things that you can take action with in your home. So that is so exciting. I cannot wait. The other announcement I have is a very good friend of mine most recently did the last podcast interview, Patty Lennon. If you didn't get to watch that or listen to it, access to it and also to amazing resources. Of my program, I'm also a member of hers. We are great friends. She really is on the same page as me when it comes to getting yourself, your internal environment, your external environment, everything lined up. So you're really calling in and standing in your power and calling in all of the things that you really would like to have in your life. So super, super excited about that. And please do check it out and the link, because it's really powerful and very supportive of the work that we do. If you missed the interview podcast with Patty last week on Monday in the podcast, do check it out because you will love her and her energy. Now, the next thing we are going to do, I'm just going to pop over, and if there's anybody who wants to submit questions, you will be able to submit your questions for me to answer during the Ask Me Anything Feng Shui session. The link will be below for anyone who wants to do that. But of course, if you're joining me live, you can say hello and tell me where you are in the world. Now, next thing, let me just get my document up. I have to say that I have hundreds of questions here in front of me. And I am super excited to talk about this. So first of all, we had a question in that says, my home is not welcoming and I'm feeling isolated. I haven't had any friends since I moved into this house. I was a healer and spiritual communicator, and I have none of that now. I moved in with a new partner. He was very antisocial, but now I can't get on anybody. Okay, so thank you so much for sending your question in. And how can we make your home more welcoming for more people? Well, the very first thing, if you haven't watched or listened to any of my other Q&A sessions, I would certainly recommend going back and listening to those. That's a very important thing because there's lots of information and tips to get started with Feng Shui and how to get started. But to create and make your environment more welcoming, I would say the very first thing to do is, again, my favorite place, start at your front door. Does it feel welcoming? You know, do you feel good when you stand at your front door and you walk, when you start at your front entrance and you walk towards your front door? Can you add something there to make it feel more inviting? That's the very first thing I would do, is look at that space and see if you can make it more inviting for people to want to be there. Does the doorbell work? Does the gate open easily? You know, like we have to think about like, okay, if this is where people are going to come and visit me in my house, how can I make this space more inviting? So think about bringing flower pots, some flowers, a nice welcome mat, making sure it's nice and smooth to get in. You know, can the postman find you? The postman can't find you. It is definitely a sign that nobody else is going to be able to find you, and neither will the energy. So making sure that you use that will be a really great intro to it. And then cleaning your front door, making it inviting. The next thing I would say is looking and wandering around your house and seeing, do you have any photos or pictures up of you with your friends or people that were your friends, people in community together? And this is a really, really significant thing. I recently had a client who was feeling very isolated also in her home. And, you know, we were going through a period of kind of crazy isolation with social, like we have social media and we have technology, but not being able to connect with people in person as much. So the first thing I would also say to you is the next thing I would say to you, this example of a client, she in her community area, I invited her to put some pictures of women together in that area. So that's what we actually did. And it was absolutely amazing. She very soon afterwards saw a real shift by actually setting up and putting images of what it is that you want. So maybe your place, if you were living with someone who was single, that their place wasn't as supportive energetically. You know, maybe the energy of that space wasn't like, was only the imagery was very singular and isolated. So go and find on Pinterest or on Google or on, you know, just search for pictures of community, people together, people holding hands. You know, groups of people, connection. There's a beautiful ornament I had in my house, which had like 4 people in a circle together connecting. You know, I would really want you to focus on that, would be important. So what are the, what's on the walls? Like what's the artwork? And if you can, start to bring in some imagery that represents what it is that you want to call in terms of that community thing. The next thing I would also recommend is to give yourself an opportunity to then start to think about, you know, the actual community area, which is the east part of your house. So maybe you can find the east part of your home and see what's in that place. Like maybe there's a picture of one person their own. Maybe there's some things that are broken and not working. Have a look at that and see whether that's an option. In my book, The Happy Home, I also recommend and talk about the shape of buildings. So it may be a case that this area, that area doesn't exist. Now, it's much more complicated to explain it here. So I do recommend that if you know, if this is something that's an issue, I would certainly recommend getting a copy of my book where you can see how I talk about this, the layout of your home. There's many factors and layers when it comes to Feng Shui. So when I do these kind of live Q&As, I can just talk to you about things that you can do on the surface. And then we go into the book, I go a little bit deeper into kind of the layout of houses and where those areas are and also shapes of buildings. And in my PowerHouse program, I give you specific cures based on the energy of your house. So your house is very unique and specific energies going on in it, which maybe actually make it very difficult. Now, this year in particular is a tricky year for family and community and that sense of connection. So I would certainly recommend you doing a space clearing and getting clear on what it is that you would like to achieve. Like, do you know what you would like to have? You know, so writing some affirmations, writing some intentions, you know, creating a vision board with the artwork that represents people together in community. And then the other part is the word action is not in the word, action isn't in the word attraction for no reason. So certainly, if you do want to reach out and connect with more people, maybe there's a little part of you that is not like doing that. So, you know, I had an incident with a client years ago, and she was sharing that we talk about when we want to call in love to think in pairs. But she realized that she was in her kitchen one day and looked and she was like, oh, I need egg cups. I need an egg cup. So when she went to go shopping that day, she actually was on autopilot to buy 1 egg cup. Okay. And then she realized, wow, I was just like buying one egg cup just for me. But if I wanted someone to be in my life with me, I don't have a second egg cup for them. So she was sharing about that energy of us having, so she bought 2 egg cups. And then she had a conversation later about her realization with her friend. And her friend is someone that always has a lot of people around in her life. And the friend, she was saying to her friend, you know, I realized I was only buying for one egg cup. And I decided to buy 2 because I would like to have some in my life. And the friend was like, oh my God, I would have bought 6 egg cups, you know, if I needed egg cups. And this friend is someone who always has an abundance of people around her. So that is kind of this whole idea of like, oh my God. And then she was like, wow, yeah, I don't really ever have that many people at all. So she realized that this woman, she said, and even when I'm cooking, I would always make sure that I have an extra dinner in the pot to make it like space. So there's that sensation of having extra space in your life, in your home, in your, you know, in your cupboard for that person. Like, is there another egg cup if someone was staying over? Is there the spare egg cups? You know, are you making space for having other people in your life, you know, in terms of like the physical things and the way you do it and how you're operating? So that's just an invitation for you to have a think about it as well in terms of calling in more people. So as I said, just a little reflection on that. The first thing is I would say, make sure it's easy for people to come. Can they find your house? Is there a number on it? Is there a door on it? Is there a door? Is it easy to open? Is there a sign? Like, is it easy to find so people can find you? The second thing I would say is also then look at the imagery you have. What kind of imagery would you like? Create a vision board of the kind of things you'd like to be doing, whether they're like women coming together, meditating together, you know, as a, you know, if you're in a spiritual path, or is it just people dancing? Like, what kind of things would you like to be doing? Look at the artwork for sure and bring some of that in. And even if you have some photos of your friends, like people together, put them up, start to see them, and then take action, like connect with people. There's a lot of, and you know, we were talking about this recently, but this COVID and what's been going on in the world has made people a lot more isolated and almost like shy to reach out. And it's a really tough, like for extroverts. I know personally as an extrovert, there's probably been a harder time for me because I haven't been able to like be with people as much as possible. So really think about that. Like, how can you do that? And maybe join some socially connected groups as well. So I hope this was helpful for you and for everyone listening. When it comes to the Feng Shui, there's so many different access that we can, there's so many different ways that we can, you know, use our environment to call in what it is that we want, and just really taking some action on that would be really, really, really good. And I see that there's lots of different questions. So I do, and I will be going back through all of these questions. And Joan, I'm just going to answer this one because it's quite a quick one. She just asked a question like, we have recently moved into a house that has inside window shutters. They help with insulation, but I keep wondering if they're too constrictive or blocking out too much sun. So I would say, you know, don't overthink it. In terms of like shutters, like as long as you have them open during the day, they should be okay. We don't have any, like, it's not going to block the things in. And also your front of your house, your front door is the mouth. That's where the energy comes in. So I would look at the front door as being the main energy. So make sure that's clean and unrestricted and easy to access and easy to find, just like I talked about in the other regarding the isolation part. And thank you so much for your question. Of course, if you do have any questions, we're just coming to an end. I have like a 20-minute time lock for us with this. So if anyone has any questions, feel free. I'll pop the link below that you can submit your questions for this weekly session of Q&A with myself. Obviously, there's a few updates today, so make sure you're part of the PowerHouse pop-up group because I'll be doing the Mercury retrograde, Feng Shui your Mercury retrograde from the 14th of October. So keep an eye there and keep an eye in your inbox. If you do have questions you want to submit, pop in the details in the link below. And in the meantime, if you haven't already listen to last week's episode of Patty, or on Monday's episode with Patty Lennon, I highly recommend you check it out. It's a beautiful, amazing, powerful one, and she gives some great insights and tips into opening up to receiving and allowing some amazing things in and being more connected in your life and in your world. Now, with that said, I will pop that link below as well for you to get access to and to watch and to get access to her amazing training that she has coming up. In the meantime, thank you for being here. I hope you have a wonderful day. And if you have been listening and you are taking action, please don't forget to tag me on Instagram, take a photo, tag me on Instagram, tag me on Facebook. I want to see what you're doing and taking action on this. The word action is not in attraction for no reason. So have a great day. Thanks for being here. And I will see you all next week on this Q&A session with Feng Shui. Bye.